As the world focuses on Sochi and explosion of violence overnight across Russia's border in nearby Ukraine, where the battle over the future of that country is heating up.
Between those loyal to the whole of Europe and those loyal to Russia. This is what's happening now. At least 22 people killed in this latest round of fighting. These deaths coming just after a truce in Ukraine's political crisis collapsed. The two sides now again, as Robin just said, fighting over the country's very future as thousands of protesters stake their lives on a desire for real political change.
It is such a scene over there. This is live pictures right now of Independence Square in Kiev. One of our own producers just fired upon over there. ABC's Bruno Rober has the latest.
As the sun rose in Kiev this morning, a fresh and horrifying round of violence unfolded. I was able to watch from my hotel room as ranks of police at almost point-blank range fired on protesters carrying little more than sticks and makeshift shields. They fell where they stood. I saw at least 7 protesters shot. The wounded were dragged away or hoisted onto makeshift gurneys. The lobby right here in our hotel was turned into a field hospital and morgue. Scores of bodies have been laid out under sheets by the reception desk. The number keeps rising. Security forces have taken up positions on the upper floors of our hotel as well and have been shooting down protesters from there. Journalists have been targeted. ABC producer Matt McGarry's room was hit by at least 2 rounds which came in through his window. All talk of ceasefire has all but disappeared. The clashes continue around the hotel and echo across the city. Protesters are erecting new fortifications and the police responding with machine guns and flash grenades.
An uneasy, tense calm has descended on Kiev, but we're hearing reports that police in the west of the country have gone over to the opposition groups, which is good news for the opposition, but a possible harbinger, ominous harbinger of things to come moving forward. Robin?
Our thanks to you, Bruno, and our concern to you and all there in harm's way. And to Washington now, where ABC's Jim Avila is at the White House. Those fast-moving developments in Ukraine being closely monitored there this morning. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Robin. The president returned home to the White House early this morning from Mexico to all that bad news. Overnight, there was a press conference before he left the summit in which he seemed to be skeptical about the newly announced truce, but hopeful. But now that that's all fallen apart, the president's earlier strong words to the government of Ukraine seem to stand.
There will be consequences if people step over the line. And that includes making sure that the Ukrainian military does not step in to what should be a set of issues that can be resolved by civilians.
The president says America is watching closely to what's going on in Kiev, and they will coordinate with the allies, the European allies.
So
Robin?
what is the next step there, Jim, with the White House?
Already the White House has set upon some small sanctions against the Ukraine, some sanctions about visas, people being able to travel from Ukraine to the United States. But the next step is probably some more serious sanctions in coordination with the European allies.
All right, Jim, thanks so much.